News conference. The spokesman was bombarded with questions at the news conference. Nomination. They jumped into the race for the nomination. Notify. We shall notify you of the arrival of the goods. Nutrient. These nutrients should be helpful to your health. Obesity. Obesity is a problem for most people in Western countries. Obnoxious. He is the most obnoxious man we know. Observe. You should observe the proprieties. Obstruct. The man was charged with obstructing the highway. Occupation. He hasn't entered your name and occupation yet. Offer. I want to tell you that the office block is under offer. We offered him the product for $40. Offset. Maybe the pay raise will be offset by inflation. Operation. The operation of this machine is not difficult. Oppose. They opposed their company's new policies. Optional. Attendance at the exhibition is optional. Ordain. God has ordained that they should die in poverty. She was ordained the first woman priest of the church last year. Organ. Parliament belongs to the chief organ of government. Organization. It is a benevolent organization. Outbreak. The outbreak of riot in this area caused a lot of people to die. Outlive. He outlived his wife by several years. Outrage. Chinese people should never forget the outrage committed by the Japanese invaders. Outrage. Chinese people should never forget the outrage committed by the Japanese invaders. Overdose. You must not take an overdose of sleeping pills. Overextend. Any man may overextend himself. Overly. You must be overly tired. Overpower. Several burglars were easily overpowered by the police. Overtime. He has to be on overtime tonight. We have been working overtime. Oxidation. You can paint a coat of paint to prevent the oxidation of the ship by seawater. Ozone layer. The pollution had destroyed the ozone layer. Pack. The bus station was packed with noisy pupils. The hikers like to carry packs on their backs. Palliate. I believe this medicine can palliate your headache. Palpitate. He palpitated with fear. Pamper. He was pampering the poor girl's lust for singularity and self-glorification. Panic. The sudden collapse of the big bank caused a panic on the stock exchange. Par. It is a solid par performance. He had to sell the bond at par. Partnership. I am willing to enter into partnership with him to do export business. Patient. I get along very well with him because he is a very patient man. The patient often cried for the pain. Payable. This is a check payable to the bearer. Pedantic. He often pays a pedantic attention to details. Pending. A final decision to this matter is pending. Pending. A final decision to this matter is pending. Penurious. Helen's mother said that she had no wish to chuck her daughter away on such a penurious person. Percentage. You can get a percentage on everything they sell. Periodical. I should be very glad if you could insert this article into our company's periodical. Personnel. One of our company's main problems is the shortage of skilled personnel. Perturb. They try to perturb good social order with their lies and propaganda. She was perturbed by the setback. Pervade. Reformation ideas pervaded the company. Petroleum. This country is rich with petroleum. Physical. I don't understand those physical changes. Pill. The doctor suggested her to take less sleeping pills. Piquant. Do you have any piquant sauce? Pivotal. 2006 is a pivotal year for the development of the company. Plague. Flood has plagued this region for several months. This country suffered many plagues in the wartime. Platform. She was coming by train, so I waited on the platform. Plebiscite. The plebiscite in Kashmir, desired by the UN, has never taken place. Pollution. At present, the pollution had destroyed the ozone layer and caused many changes in weather. Population explosion. India has a population explosion at the moment. Portray. Many readers thinks that Dickens portrayed his characters to the life. Potential. Liz has acting potential but needs training. Education develops potential abilities. Precaution. We must take precautions against fire. Pregnant. The woman was pregnant with her first child. I like to read his writings because they are pregnant with poetry. Premature. The baby was 1 month premature. This disease easily produces premature aging of the brain. Prepare. He is preparing his report for the meeting tomorrow. Prescription. His prescription for economic recovery was well received. Presentable. You must make yourself presentable before the interview. Premature. Prepare. Prescription. Presentable. Presidential election. Roosevelt won the 1936 presidential election and became the president. Presume. A signed invoice presumes receipt of the shipment. Prevent. These regulations are intended to prevent their plans from being carried out. Primary. I started primary school when I was 6 years old. Primitive. Living conditions in this place are still quite primitive. Prior. He feels a prior obligation to his job. Privacy. I felt I needed privacy. Proclaim. He proclaimed that they were traitors. Procure. He tells me that he can procure the rare old book for me. Product. They will come here in search of new markets for their products. Professional. He is a highly professional administrator. Prevent. These regulations are intended to prevent their plans from being carried out. Primary. I started primary school when I was 6 years old. Primitive. Living conditions in this place are still quite primitive. Prior. He feels a prior obligation to his job. Privacy. I felt I needed privacy. Proclaim. He proclaimed that they were traitors. Procure. He tells me that he can procure the rare old book for me. Product. They will come here in search of new markets for their products. Professional. He is a highly professional administrator.